I know that nobody cares because people are too retarded and don't care about humanity because they just care about their little green profit. But I'm going to show you guys. Actually, this isn't for you. So scroll. The fuck? This is for my babies to see, okay? You hear? Because I'm going to show my babies the fucking truth. You hear me? Because their mama loves them. You fucking hear? So this is my court stuff that is going to be filed to sue. I'm not going to show you who I'm suing. But anyways, there's 19 entities. And I'm suing them for their hearts and their brains along with all their fucking money. You fucking hear me? Don't mind that bruise. But anyways, you guys can check the paperwork out yourself if you want to know what I'm reading. But it says basis for jurisdiction. This is state and local officials. If you are suing under 1983, blah, 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 what federal constitutions do you claim is being violated? I put First Amendment, Fourth Amendment, Fifth Amendment, 14th Amendment, 8th Amendment. See page 678. Okay. Basis for jurisdiction attached. Deprivation of rights, privileges, or immunities secured by the Constitution and federal law. Freedom of religion violations, freedom of speech violations, freedom of the press violations, violating my rights of assembly. I am being censored on all platforms, including Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. And government officials have compromised my phone. They are stealing my intelligence and, most importantly, violating my right to privacy. My freedom of religion has been attacked because some of my fellow Muslims have been attacked and politically targeted. I will explain in more detail other abuses to support the violations. Next, Amendment number 4 was violated by compromising my phone, stealing my data, and siphoning my energy because I talked to immigrants. Another violation was unjustified stops. 2 Michigan state officers used falsified names eerily similar to 2 suspicious suicides in my family. They stalked my info to know when I would be, they knew when I was headed to an appointment, so they posted up with intent to charge me with a fake crime of being on the phone at a stoplight. I was 3 minutes into an NBA YoungBoy song. I was not changing the song, and I knew where I was headed, so I was not checking GPS. I was not on the phone, period. Google could tell you that. Anyways, I have reason to believe these coonies used the name Andrew as the police name to symbolize my veteran grandpa's suspicious suicide. His name was Andrew Wesley Stevenson, born August 3rd, 1943, ambushed as a veteran November 25th, 2025. The other officer used Antonio Gra as an alias, which I believe symbolizes another suspicious suicide. My niece's father, Antonio Sol Gutierrez, born May 14th, 1986, ambushed April 15th, 2026. I feel like this was to intimidate me, but I'm not scared. I was illegally detained multiple times. I will explain in more detail following. There was illegal strip searches in the hospital. My Fifth Amendment was violated so many times on camera. Coercive pleadings, subjecting me to extreme mental pressure regarding my domestic violence court case and other legal proceedings. I was not given competent due process. I was charged with multiple crimes for one incident when the officer charged me with assault with a deadly weapon. I got 2 assaults with a deadly weapon, and all I did was back into a parked car with nobody in it. They put all my charges together during COVID. I had a resisting, so they put all of my charges together so I would plead to the fake ones so I wouldn't get the felony resisting arrest. Okay, so there was coercive pleadings. My 14th Amendment violated. None of these supposed paid professionals followed my due process rights. They took my liberty, property, and I was most definitely attacked for being an awakened Muslim Jew. No fair trial access. Just a second. I'm sorry. Thank you for staying. No fair trial access. I was told if I went to trial for my asylum hospitalization, Dr. Nicholas flat out said I would be in the hospital longer. There was coerced confessions. I have reason to suspect blank attorney, which was my appointed attorney, had intel on possibly the drone or gossip. I feel like he knew I was not just running the streets naked. We discussed a possible rape, but I had no evidence. All I know is I was left there unconscious, naked, shrugged while preggo, and set up for retaliation. So they violated my 5th and 14th Amendments by charging me with indecent exposure when they found me unconscious, shrugged, pregnant. And I'm hoping that this attorney did not get promoted to prosecutor just because he hid the truth. I have reason to believe people are literally profiting and getting promotions just to keep my, just to keep my, violations. Oh, have you ever had a pimple right in between your butt cheeks? Oh my God, it hurts. I'm sorry, that's too much information. But anyways, I have reason to believe the indecent exposure where I was on the side of the road unconscious, naked is on drone, and also 911 cameras will help prove what happened that night. Police misconduct constantly. Wait, I think I'm on the wrong. Hold on, I'm sorry. Okay, so that was B, C. Okay, this is D. Section 1983 allows defendants to be found liable when they have acted under the color of law. If you are suing under Section 1983, explain how each defendant acted under color of law or local law. I was consistently attacked physically, mentally, spiritually, and psychologically by paid cult of bullies, defamers, attached, page 8. Police misconduct consistently, jail and prison abuse, when guard at Bay County Jail pushed me down while I was preggo. The entire paid collective group and the suspects in this RICO case, illegal detainments. I was actually set up by officers in 911 female dispatch in a coordinated terrorist attack on me and my family for profit. These social workers abusing their powers to make me look unmanageable and a threat without proving any real abuse or neglect on my children. And I want all my documents amended with the truth. And then it says statement of claim. State as briefly as possible the facts of your case. Describe how each defendant was involved. Do not cite any cases. Number each claim. Write a statement. Okay. A, where did the events giving rise to your claims occur? Zoom, hospital cameras, body cam, dispatch stations. And this just says all of the, like Liberty Party Store, McLaren Bay Regional, Covenant Health Center, Community Mental Health, Pizza Hut, Pizzagate, Hurley Medical Center, BABH, Sacred Heart, Bay County Jail, just everywhere that stuff occurred. So, okay, B, What date and approximate times? Okay, I'm not going to give you guys all that. It was 2019 to 2023. C, what are the facts underlying your claims? For example, what happened to you? Who did what? Was anyone else involved? Who else saw what happened? So C, 1, gang stalked by a group of profiteers who lied, scammed, defrauded the process and policies to ensure the separation of my family to benefit their agenda and the bricklayers' agenda. 2, was attacked as a child with a bioterror weapon that caused blisters or herpes on my lips. So I was complaining about Bill Gates' COVID vaccine they were working on in order to, in Bill Gates' words, depopulate Earth. COVID was a domestic terrorist attack on Caucasians and blacks. 3, I complained to a lot of individuals, but the internet sources mainly seen everything. Everything is documented on business lines, emails, group chats, and other illegal electronics or sources such as the paid bully's personal phone, personal email, and Facebook. Okay, that was 3. 4, I was repeatedly attacked physically, mentally, spiritually, psychologically. I was abused and tortured, terrorized by the profited gang stalkers. I do believe the attack was premeditated. They wanted to inflict pain mentally, physically, and spiritually in hopes to destroy my destiny and purpose for humanity. They wanted me isolated, insecure, and unable to cope. They intended to break me physically and to ruin my reputation and character. They enjoyed watching the snuff videos. Right now, I'm not putting any names to that because that was a whole collective group. Yeah. This one-sided war is and can be considered a RICO case and possible case of MK Ultra. 7, I was attacked with bioterror weapons, shots, against my will in retaliation to me asking questions, advocating for myself, learning, and I was attacked for complaining about people in their positions. Complete abuse of power by all involved. And I just told them that I'm the divine test and that God put me through that situation, whatever. But this is considered a RICO case because there are, in fact, murders that need investigating. There is kidnapping. There is robbery, bribery, fraud. And I was set up to help the bricklayers so they could make me look crack-headed like them. Some victims are Ashley Makowski, Sarah Stevens, Andrew Wesley Stevenson, Matt Hobson, and another one is Antonio Gutierrez, all victims from my village. 10, illegal detentions and strip search conducted by the group of armed and angry men at McLaren Bay Regional. On June 20th, at Liberty, I was illegally detained. Regretfully, after put in the cruiser, I was distressed about my baby son who was inside the store with Ashley. What I did was I knew that these police were going to do something, so I told Ashley, who was my bestie at Liberty, she was working, to please take my baby because I knew they were going to do something. And they illegally detained me. So regretfully, I said, I want to kill myself. I was in the back of the cruiser, okay? I regret that. Anyways, I was just illegally detained, so I don't give a fuck. Anyways, after I stupidly said that comment that I was going to harm myself, the officers decided to hospitalize me. After they detained me, I was causing no issues, barely speaking. I was silent in the waiting room while the officer was waiting on the gang, his boys, to arrive at the hospital. When his boys arrived, I was wheeled into the back room. I sat on the bed. I was not speaking. All of a sudden, I was bum rushed. Whole group of men run into my room, and they start tugging at my pants. And that is when I started being vocal, asking, what are you doing? What are you doing? Over and over and over. One officer was yelling, rape. Oh, this is on camera. I was confused while I was actively being stripped naked by men who weren't telling me what they were doing. I spoke to no professional, no nurse, no doctor, before I was stripped and attacked by this group of fucking armed, angry weirdos. What the fuck was that? Supposedly, this incident was to protect everybody's safety. There was no warning that my clothes were coming off, and there was no warning of shots. I don't know why they had to do a pussy evaluation. The fuck? This violates my 4th, 8th, 14th Amendments. Unreasonable force, unreasonable strips and searches. The 8th prohibits cruel and unusual punishment. The 14th Amendment was violated through the Due Process Clause. I was deprived of life, liberty, and without fair legal proceedings. 11, I have many incidents on camera that these paid bullies committed battery on me with unnecessarily and against PRN policies with shots. It's on camera. Cameras were all over, everywhere. Everything's on fucking camera that I say. I ain't no fucking lying ass bitch, and I ain't never been a bitch, and I ain't never been extorted, and I ain't never been a fucking pussy. 12, I have reason to suspect the 911 female dispatcher who normally answers the Bay County police line was releasing my HIPAA private info just to gossip. So I'm always called mental or asked if I need mental help by every officer who I'm more educated than and that I come into contact with. This is just trying to intimidate me and to stop me making complaints. Yes, I make complaints, and the hospital calls the police. Robin made a complaint. She was up too late. Go check on her. Robin, are you mental? No. Are you eating? Yeah. Scared to tell them I'm fasting. Like, what the fuck? I'm more educated than these dumb motherfuckers. Fuck you, bitch. Fucking retards. And I won't stop till my family gets justice. I'm not fucking retarded. Sorry. 13, I was set up and jumped by fucking Dallas Casper and a man named Twin. We arrived to the Bay City location from our, we took a road trip, whatever. I had my son with me. He was 2, and I was pregnant. So I was jumped. Facebook and police reported on the incident as me being a threat to children. I was legit set up and jumped, and I won all the fucking electronic communications. On June 11th, 2020, we came back from vacation. I told no one my location. Maggie was acting very suspicious. She was in a rush to leave the house because she knew I was going to be harmed. As soon as Maggie left, I was attacked, hit in the head with a chair, and then this fuckboy Twin pulled me by my back from my hair and hit me in both of my eyes. Yeah, he wasn't charged. They hit me in the fucking head with the chair. The conflict ended. I was able to walk outside and take maybe 4 steps down the road, and simultaneously, at the same fucking second, 3 motherfuckers showed up. Ralphie, the ambulance, and Lily. Why would they know I was there? I don't fucking know. The fuck? I'll get all the documents. I will get all the documents. It's gonna be okay. So all these fuckboys showed up at the same fucking second. That's how I know 911 dispatch was fucking involved, dumb, dirty bitch. Fucking dumb, dirty bitch. Dumb, dirty bitch. I believe the 911 dispatch logs can help me with this case. I am positive the evidence will prove improper coordination with the collective group gang stalkers. I am actively requesting the information under the Freedom of Information Act, but they refuse me the Freedom of Information Act information. Fucking bitch. It says, number 14, I definitely need the events surrounding the indecent exposure night when I was arrested for being on the side of the road, unconscious, pregnant, naked. Oh, and my handler told me yesterday that supposedly I was on a date. in that location because I guess in his dreams, I prostitute. I don't know. I'm pretty sure Leticia Sanchez is using my picture to exploit herself and to make her look like me. So maybe she was on a date that night. But I don't know how I ended up by Save-A-Lot, naked, unconscious, pregnant. I had no reason to be there. I did not walk there. Like, I knew nobody around there, so I don't know why I was left there. It was a completely random area. I don't fucking know why. Anyways, number 15. Prior to the indecent exposure on 6/27/20, I was involved in a resisting obstruction charge on a male officer who responded to the Subway Lafayette incident where I was charged with assault. Regretfully, I did resist when I was arrested. We had an altercation, and after the altercation, he was so mad at himself that he retaliated against me, hence why I was set up on the curb, shrugged and prayed unconscious, naked, with my handler watching nearby. I had an open R&O case on this officer, and dispatch decided to send this man to my location of me being unconscious, naked, pregnant, shrugged on the curb. Isn't that a conflict of interest? Whatever. Anyways, I know that I wasn't there because I was drinking and blacked out. And I know I wasn't naked. I was left there fucking naked. Get the fuck out of here. And I know that was an abnormal experience. The dispatch records, body cam, vehicle cam can help me clear up discrepancies. And so can group chats. The fuck? I was also accused of trying to headbutt a guard when actually I was only verbally yelling at her. I did not get close enough to the guard to headbutt her. And it's the same guard who pushed me down weeks prior. So they're trying to say I tried to headbutt her. Okay. What a joke. It's on camera, I'll get it. But they constantly attacked me and made themselves look like the victims. And they tried to make me look dangerous. I was on the side of a curb, unconscious, naked. And I was retaliated by a group of grown pussy men. They used this arrest to kidnap my daughter. I have reason to believe there is drone footage. Either Rhea Rocha on Facebook has it, or possibly a different drone. I don't fucking know. Palantir, Flock. Somebody's fucking got the shit. Google. Somebody's got it. 16. When they kidnapped my daughter, they had a random unknown individual man name the family's never heard about on my foster care entry court paperwork. I want to know if this man being labeled a threat and in my home, if that was a part of the reason the judge signed off on the emergency order. The only sentence my appointed lawyer uttered, fucking Leland Burton, fucking crackhead, fucking fag bitch. All he said my first court hearing was, let's get these kids home. No, he didn't tell me they were going to be in foster care. He didn't tell me that I could argue my fucking case. Dirty motherfucking bitch. Um, 17. The collective group of attorneys allowed the guardian ad litem, fat ass, no, I don't write that, Lisa Blanton, to constantly call me names over and over and over again on camera. She was like, you're crazy. You're crazy. You're crazy. You're crazy. You're crazy. You're fucking crazy to fucking commit fraud and perjury on the fucking camera. Fucking retard. The fuck? All I was doing was showing her my house and my daughter's beautiful room. You're crazy. You're crazy. You're crazy. This bitch was never given an objection on the constant biased hearsay that was not really admissible as evidence to support abuse or neglect to my motherfucking children. Like I said, I was never warned about foster care. I was tricked with no way to argue my case. No one ever helped me understand my rights. I was gaslit and manipulated constantly. And it's on fucking camera, bitch. So shut the fuck up. I was constantly called mental by professionals who have no authority to diagnose or discuss. 18. During the month of September, October, 2020, I repeatedly requested my drug screen results be sent to my Bay County PO. Despite my text, emails, and communication actively asking for results, Paige Cushion, the social work group withheld them from me for a month and a half, refusing me an opportunity to dispute or to even protect myself from possibly being poisoned while pregnant. I am leaning more towards fraudulent labs versus poisoning, but these critical drug screens that were withheld put me and my unborn son in grave danger. This is extreme negligence. This group violated my 14th Amendment, which prohibits fabricating and withholding material facts. If Paige would have notified my PO, I imagine my PO would have done her fucking job, violated me, and if necessary, would have placed me in detention to protect me and my fucking unborn baby. They had very bad intentions hiding these results. All I know is I was either poisoned at the end of my pregnancy or set up with faulty fucking drug screens. All there is to that situation. I ain't fucking playing. I ain't no crackhead bitch. I got all the proof to prove that I ain't no fucking junkie. And I definitely was not using the 4 weeks, the most critical weeks, when I had an open CPS case. So they said I was doing drugs the month before I gave birth, and then all of a sudden I give birth and I never do drugs again. That ain't how fucking addiction works. Shut the fuck up, bitch. They got me fucked up. I got years and years of clean drug screens. I want you to know my son does not deserve to be terrorized mentally thinking his mom was a motherfucking crackhead while pregnant. And it ain't my fault he was taken, so my kids are going to know the fucking truth. I'm going to prove it. Oh, they thought my kids would be good targets of psychological warfare, intended to make them think badly about their biological mother and fathers. Can you imagine having to explain to your loved ones that the kids got taken because positive drug screens? And you're like, no, they were fake. I wasn't on drugs. I wasn't on drugs. I told that to my aunt. Well, Robin, it's okay if you were. Robin, it's okay if you were. But I wasn't. But I wasn't. They knew no one would care or believe me, and I don't appreciate the attack on my reputation, character. This incident must be fucking investigated. 19. I was forced to plead to cocaine screens on camera. Leland told me on camera. I had to because he didn't have time. 20. During the COVID-19 pandemic, I was actively complaining about Bill Gates' COVID vaccine, human trafficking, and climate control. It should be on Mount Morris Police body cam the day that they kidnapped me because of these complaints. The doctor at Hurley Medical Center said I was talking about fucking AIDS. I never had AIDS on my fucking mind. All I had on my mind was the bioterror weapon I believed I received as a child that led to blisters on my fucking lips, forehead, right here at the fuck. Shut the fuck up, bitch. And for some reason, a man I never talked to at Hurley was charting in my chart personal information about me that I never discussed. I never gave them emergency contacts. They never asked me about family. They never communicated with anybody. How the fuck did he know this shit? The fuck? I never seen or talked to the random fucking practitioner. That's how I know it was a biased hospitalization. And they were encouraged by the profiteered social work group. The cop that kidnapped me in Mount Morris made a statement to me about my social worker before he detained me. So he knew I had a fucking social worker. I believe he was getting intel through an earpiece. I was retaliated against for complaining about a tyrannical government and the COVID vaccine terror attack, climate control. That all violates my First Amendment rights. 21. During the hospitalization at McLaren, I was on the phone trying to call lawyers from the phone book. Randomly, out of 15, maybe more lawyers that I called, only one answered. And it was actually a lawyer that I met when I was 18 and in college. That is concerning that no other lawyer answered their phone from a hospital. Anyways, during my legal search for advice on the hospital phone, a planted agitator, bully, fucking crackhead, fucking OnlyFans bitch came and hung up my phone call. And all of a sudden, this is on camera. There's cameras fucking everywhere for the snuff videos. She hung up my phone call, and then up comes a nurse, and behind her back is a fucking shot for me. No, I didn't go and hang up on her phone call. She came to my space and hung up my phone call. And then I was attacked with battery chemical weapons. The fuck? During another hospitalization that was on camera, I was discussing with a woman her paperwork. We had a question. All I did was hold up the piece of paper to get the nurse's attention, and I was attacked with a chemical weapon. The woman that I was asking about her paperwork, she was also being kidnapped by police. She told me the reason she was in there was because she wasn't taking her meds daily. And then to me, she was complaining about being drugged and set up with snuff videos by a man who was contacting her from a jail call, but he wasn't really in jail. Okay? And I actually believed the girl because it seemed pretty, what she was saying didn't sound mental. It sounded like somebody needed to investigate. So when I got out of the hospital, I went to the home. She showed me bullet holes. Bullet holes on the lower, it was on the bottom of the wall. So it seems like somebody was laying and then I made a 911 complaint on the internet about this house and about the girl. And a week or two later, the man came up dead. Okay. Hey, whatever. He died. Good. Whatever. 19. Nope, I already read that one. But these should be on hospital cameras. Oh, what am I doing? Oh, I'm doing it the wrong way. Okay. These should all be on hospital cameras. They had cameras all over. The batteries committed on my person must be investigated. I need all recordings for my research project. Again, this will be considered a terrorist attack by paid gang stalkers. Hi. 22. Another falsified threat that came from CMH in Midland was when I went to speak to counselors simply to ask them if my daughter had made any complaints that I needed to be aware of. I wanted to know if she was making complaints because I suggested that she went to counseling, and I was on the camera with the counselor during my daughter's first appointment, and I told my daughter, you can be as open and honest with this woman as you want. Tell her anything that you believe is true. And I actually had faith in them. But unfortunately, I went there to ask them, to speak to them, to simply ask them if my daughter was complaining of anything. I walked in the door, and their doors were locked, and there was a phone. So I picked up the phone, and the woman would not discuss anything with me, even though I had rights to my child. Okay? And then they made up statements saying that I said that my children were being poisoned. Okay. What? Poisoned by medicine? Who gives a fuck? Poisoned mentally? Who gives a fuck? And they said I was yelling. They were way back there. The door was... What do I look like yelling through a door when there's a phone? The fuck are you talking about? Yeah, I make it a little bit loud, but when I'm having a conversation with a professional, you ain't never gonna catch me motherfucking yelling at nobody, bitch. Shut the fuck up, you dumb, dirty bitch. The fuck out of here. And then I called the state police on the mental health providers, and I went to Pizza Hut to complain about them trafficking my children. I complained at Pizza Hut. Pizzagate, Pizzagate, Pizzagate. Can you say Pizzagate, Pizzagate? Bitch. And this was before the Pizzagate thing. Yeah, so wait, let me know again what the Pizzagate is. Okay. So I went to Pizza Hut and talked to the Michigan State Police to complain about the services. And of course, the officer was just fucking disrespectful because all police want to do is be like, I'm better than you. Do you see this? I'm tougher. I got a gun. Nobody gives a fuck about you. Oh, I'm going to pull you over and make up lies. I'm going to stalk and harass vulnerable women. You're a fucking bitch. Bitch. The fuck out of here. You ain't... Yeah, we need a police. We do need the police, obviously. But the fuck? We don't need this type of police. The fuck that. When you make complaints to them, they just look at you. Bitch, fuck you! Oh, they're gonna come and charge me with a crime because I said fuck them. Yeah, that's why they charged me with the on the phone traffic ticket, because they seen me on TikTok complaining about the police while I was driving. So they were like, oh, we're gonna get her. We're gonna get her. We're gonna get her. Bitch, I wasn't on the phone at the fucking stop sign. Shut the fuck up, dumb bitch. And I said, oh my God, these people really be hallucinating. That is so concerning. The lies inputted on my documents are completely egregious and gross and disturbing, that they would do that to a family willingly on camera. And I complained to so many officers during my case. 23. I recall Dr. Nicholas at McLaren telling me specifically I would not be allowed to leave if I did not take the Invega shot. And then another time, what I call the decapitation scandal. I was forced to sign illegitimate paperwork that was falsified and grossly made up by the paid hallucinators and perjurists, or he said I was not going to be allowed to leave. I had to sign the decapitation paperwork, or I was not allowed to leave. Fuck you, bitch. 24. During the decapitation scandal, all I did was ask my social worker for a lift to my daughter's school. I had a flat tire on the side of US 10. All of a sudden, an officer comes to my location and he asked me where my dad was. I said, my dad's 5 minutes down the road. He's coming to fix the car. So quickly, they detained me and put me in the ambulance and kidnapped me on the side of the road. I don't know who came up with this decapitation scandal, but I believe the 911 and the texts, calls, emails, and etc. will help me solve this violation. During this decapitation scandal, I was told that I was too ill to attend a domestic violence court hearing where I was a witness and a victim into the previous situation where I told you guys I was jumped pregnant with 2 black eyes by a man and a woman. So during this hospitalization, I was too sick to go to court. I got the doctor's note. I was too sick. I'm fucking sick. During COVID, they had court recordings on TV. The hospital had the court in a room on TV. They just wouldn't let me go on the TV. Isn't that funny? Woo! We're fucking stupid and mental. We're all fucking mental. This was witness intimidation, witness tampering, and obstruction of justice. I also missed the Supreme Court Foster Care Review Board hearing. I was never given adequate... Oh, I keep going the wrong way. Notice of the hearing. So it was just another way to disregard my complaints. And I was refused adequate help. 25. After the decapitation scandal, I asked the large social worker, Stephanie White, to give me a ride to my injection. At that point, I gave up on myself and started believing that I did need help. Yeah, right. I do not need a shot to thrive in mine and my children's fucking lives. Everything was a lie to falsify a mental disorder so they had better chances at their goal to separate my family and to orphan my children and make them profit children. Anyways, I fell for the manipulation and went ahead and agreed to the shot monthly. During the ride following my release at my next shot appointment at BABH, her co-worker drove me and she was in the passenger seat. I went in and got the shot. I came back out to the parking lot to the car. Her co-worker was outside of the car on the phone. And literally out of nowhere, this large lady, Stephanie, started going up and down in her seat. She was jumping up and down, clapping her hands, chanting, Robin, 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 we can do this. Robin, we can do this for the kids. We can do this for the kids. She had a huge smile. I was immediately concerned about her mental state. She was just involved in a decapitation scandal that forced me to miss 2 vital court hearings that would have helped my legal standings. And at that point, that day, we already knew the Supreme Court was suggesting termination. And it was the end of my 2-year case. So I already lost hope and knew it was over for me. So why the fuck are we jumping and we're so happy? What the fuck? This behavior was very disturbing. And what an unusual response, to say the least. It really painted a clearer picture of her mental health. Yes, I am literally baffled. They did this on camera and everything's recorded. No, she is not recorded jumping up and down. But it is definitely recorded that she took me to my appointment. And period. That's what the fuck she did during my appointment. Jump up and down. We can do this. We can do this for the kids. We can do this, Robin. We can do this. You know what, Stephanie? We can do this. We can prove human trafficking and kidnapping. We can do this. Woo! 26. Another disturbing comment Stephanie White blurted on camera to make me look like a threat. She stated I was a threat and the only remedy would be to change the goal to termination. The supposed threat was because I had an accent. Yeah, I had an accent. Can you believe it? What in the actual fuck did I go through, dude? I have witnessed how this system oppresses the vulnerable, constant instigators. I was just downright set up. I was misrepresented on documents to help their goals, which was to ensure the destruction of my family unit. The goal was to make me look horrible. I was told constantly by all of them, on camera all the fucking time, Robin, you advocate so good for yourself and your children. You advocate so good for yourself and your children. Over and over and over again. You advocate so good for yourself, but you're just not worthy enough. You're just not doing good enough. I'm sorry. And during this goal change to termination, Stephanie White also expressed the fact that I missed 20 or more drug screens. What, maybe that's in another one. Okay, yep, I'm coming up on that. 27, I also claim that my daughter's initial removal did not follow protocols and policies. I was not offered proper removal proceedings. The collective group violated all court procedures. There was no prosecutor judge present. Also, the reason why I was in jail had nothing to do with child abuse or neglect. Once I removed the barrier like alcohol, I still had no advancements in my case. I was never approved, not once, to advance my situation. All they did was took, and made things more difficult. One thing they did to me, they were not allowed to use AverHealth drug testing labs anymore. Oh, there it is. They could not use AverHealth anymore because they were apprised for submitting faulty drug screens to the court. So, because they did something, I was retaliated against and forced to drive to another testing facility. They forced me to use my gas. Not one gas card supplied. No support with car maintenance. And they were forcing me to drive 30 minutes to and 30 minutes back from the testing location. And my case was open 2 years. And I had to do it 3 times a week. I had 3 drug screens a week. And they just popped up it was unscheduled or whatever, randoms. So how the fuck was I supposed to work? Like, what? Ugh. And sometimes I was unable to drive to this opposite city. So when my color or code popped up, I would contact my social worker the same day and tell her, I'm sorry, I can't take the drug screen in the other city. Can you give me a swab? And we would do a swab. Okay? So my tests were just through a different lab. So that previous statement of me missing 20 plus court hearing, 20 plus drug screens was fabricated, because no, I did not miss them. It was just a different lab, dude. Oh my gosh. What the fuck did I go through? Oh my gosh. I was also punished with a decrease in visits multiple times over false allegations. They took my visits from close to my home or around my city to a whole nother town where I had to drive an hour to and from with zero support, plus driving 3 times a month. So 5 times a week, I would have to go to a different city for drug screens and visits. At this time, they knew I feared driving because I was in a car accident while I was pregnant, and my daughter's side was hit in the car. These Nazi boys learned my work schedule, wanted to harm me because I had an immigrant mixed baby in me. So they hit my brand new car. Okay? Then the police and them manipulated me into going to the hospital, supposedly for the baby's safety, when really they just wanted to do a drug and alcohol screen. So they did a alcohol screen at Covenant, and it said something about 3%. So I wrote them and said, no, I was not drinking. And he said, no, that means it's clean. And I'm just like, these motherfuckers was trying to set me up, all of them. The whole system is a fucking cult. The accident was in April 2019, and I want that investigated as a hate crime. There's tickets with their names, and Progressive knows their names. One time I had a visit with my daughter, and my dad was the visitation supervisor, and the foster care mother, Catherine, told social workers that my daughter complained that we were left alone because my dad had to use the bathroom. So I was no longer able to have my dad supervise my visits. And then we had to change locations. I don't believe my daughter made that complaint. I don't understand why we couldn't meet at a McDonald's or a park. Why did we always have to go to a church? 28, the large lady that mainly did my visits through adoption option while I was teaching my daughter what Ancestry DNA told me. I was telling her that we were Jew, and I specifically stated Jew. And the woman butted in, talking about we were Hebrews. And I'm just thinking, so you're telling me I'm a language? Is that right? But okay. Okay. $29. I got a degree in criminal justice and a youth services certificate. I've taken many CPS classes, so I know what I know. I have never been addicted to crack and never willingly tried meth like they tried to make me look like. I am not playing. I want all my documents to be amended with the truth, and I will prove to my children that I was attacked. And I will never, never let it go until I'm satisfied with justice. Until I'm satisfied. I want all my documents looked at. I want all the recordings investigated. I did not deserve to be called crackhead. And I should not have been forced to justify to my family and friends the fact that I never used. Can you imagine telling your people, I got my kids taken because drug screens, but I wasn't doing drugs, I promise I wasn't doing drugs. Dude, these motherfucking bitches. It made my family think differently of me, have less respect for me. My child's father's family disliked me because of this. And no, I will not be set up. And I will uncover this RICO case with or without the government's help. Because if they don't help, we're all going to be going to galactic court. You hear me? I'm going to get justice one way or the other. 30. Most of the documents in my file are hallucinated scenarios by a collective group of invaders of privacy, human traffickers for fun, and they are nearly to commit. Did he say?
What?
He said there was not something on the landing for me.
I didn't see it.
I'm sorry. This was retarded because they committed a terrorist attack and a hate crime on a woman while it was all being documented. That is really concerning into the state of their mental health. I don't understand what type of professional would violate constitutional rights on camera. Like, I just want you to know I'm making these videos for my children. I do not care about clout. I do not care about making friends. And I am doing nothing but fighting for my children and making sure they know the truth. And I just want to let you know that you're probably just thinking when I'm actually educated and know. Okay? So let's get that straight. I know that everything's recorded because I've connected with Verizon and business lines. You are able to see the recordings of calls. You could see everything, okay? The collective group encouraged my family members to doubt me by calling me crazy, mental. Bay City DHS and Maureen Fitzgerald, the judge, was also set up. And they would have never set me up like Midland County. That is absurd and grossly negligent that they would put another county judge and another CPS company or whatever into their misleading and falsified tests. So Midland courts and county gave me falsified screenings, and they gave them to Bay City as evidence, right? So the Bay City Maureen Fitzgerald judge is the one that signed off on taking my 5-day-old baby when it was really faulty drug screens. And I know Fitzgerald would have never done that to me. I've seen her work. She would have never fucking done that shit to me. Bay City would have never done that to me. Ugh. So I know the Bay County prosecutor and the judge was bamboozled. Everybody was bamboozled. 31. With all those claims that I've documented, I am requesting as many impartial reviews from professors, lawyers, social workers, and real professional people with integrity. And most importantly, I need to teach others what not to do. This research is for the next generation and is critical. .32. I also want to express my concerns with Google's monopoly. Google is in every Android Apple. They are gathering everyone's data and learning about the humans, yet they are failing to report crimes. They're failing to report human trafficking, kidnapping, fentanyl overdoses, fake suicides. Yeah, Google can see locations and all that shit. Like, oh, Google's the mafia, I swear to God. And I know that Google has been stalking me for over 10 years. I believe it was in 2017 or 2018. I found a Christmas giveaway through Google, which I believe is important information. That same year, so this was 10 plus years ago, either way, I met a lawyer from Troy, Michigan on an online site. Oh, and he promised me the world. Oh, he promised me, oh, this and that and this and that. And he was going to help me with my career. And, oh, he was such a great lawyer. Ooh, ooh, ooh. And, so I started talking to him and then we met up a second time. And this time I believe he was trying to I was with this lawyer on a weekend, okay, and it was late at night, and I think it was Angel Tree people. I got to figure out exactly who it is because I don't want to say something that would make some company look bad. But anyways, the person that was supposed to do my gifts that year, she called me really late at night while I was with this lawyer. And she was asking me for what gifts I wanted. So I have reason to believe they were teaming up to try to make me look like a prostitute. Because he said that I lied to him. And that's all I can think of was because of the gifts and stuff. Because he heard me saying, oh, I want this for my kids, I want that for my kids. And then I was assaulted by him. And which I can get over that fact. But I'm not gonna not question how these individuals were coordinated. Okay? So the lawyer would no longer talk to me because he told me to get gifts from other people and help from other people. But the woman that delivered the gifts, she bought me a Coach a little wallet, money wallet, a Coach money wallet, and then she bought me pans. So cooking in a Coach bag. That's what I got for being assaulted by the lawyer. And I'm not going to tell you guys how he assaulted me, but just know he did. And I want to know how Google is organized, what Google is doing. Okay, because Google is the middleman of all this. Okay. Let's see. I already told you guys that. The collective group wanted me to be a prostitute so bad. Oh, they wanted me to be a prostitute so bad. While I was in jail for a crime I did not commit, they were trying to get me to sin. They had a paid recruiter come into the jail. Supposedly, she stole a beer. A beer. So she was in there with me for a long time. I mean, I wasn't in there long. I think I ended where I said the recruiter said she was in there for stealing a beer. But she was told to befriend me and, you know, build a relationship with me. Not like I'm a serial killer and they're trying to get info. They're trying to make me sin. Isn't that fucking weird? But anyways, after we got out of jail, she tried to recruit me into prostituting, saying that they could help me with my kids. And I did not sin. I did not fall for it. Even though I might have needed that $1,500, I didn't do it, dude. These motherfuckers got me fucked up. Fuck you and your mama, and now I got you bitches by your balls. Look at you. You want me to be a prostitute so bad. You want me to be down for money so bad. You want me to be a crackhead so bad. This is great. This is great. This is so funny. So anyways, out to the injuries section. If you sustained injuries, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, I said chronic anxiety of being taken against my will just for speaking truth on my life. I had major depression after they kidnapped and trafficked my kids. For 4 years, I could not get out of bed. I could not face loved ones. I couldn't make friends. I couldn't have a relationship with a man. I couldn't live, okay? I was so ashamed. And it ruined all my relationships because everybody lost respect for me. I had a loss of meaningful employment because of these falsified assaults. I've had a job since I was 16. You can look at my W-2s. I've always worked full-time until 2019. So don't fucking play with me. It's not because I'm fucking lazy. I slept for 4 years. I couldn't face society. You cannot even imagine what it was like to go 2 years of people harassing you, lying about you. And every second you're like, wait, what? Wait, what? What? Wait, what? Oh my God. They took my entire livelihood. The police department in Bay City stole 2 of my Buick Rendezvous just because I wasn't able to fix them in time, and they were on the open land too long. So they're just stealing everything from me. The psychological and emotional trauma I experienced makes me feel deep shame, isolation. The social and professionals damage the reputation I had. They completely slandered me on Facebook to my whole community and allowed people to organize against me. Now, this is crazy, dude. Okay, and this is fucking nuts, dude. Relief. 1, ultimately, I want my grandma Mary Nikowski's property, the House of David, to be investigated to see what happened with my Uncle Eugene or if he gave it to his kids. And I want to make sure it wasn't, it's not stolen land. My Uncle Eugene Nikowski died from the terrorist attack called COVID. He supposedly caught a cold that supposedly came from fetal eggs and DNA. I also have reason to believe I am the original researcher of the bat that led to COVID. Maybe I should have put that in my claims, huh? I don't know why I'm putting that in the relief section. But anyways, me and my daughter did a school project. At the time, they told me that bats lived 6 to 7 years when my daughter was 6 to 7 years old. And now when I look up to see how long bats live, it's 35 to 40 years and I'm 35. Maybe that is a weird thought. Maybe I am a conspiracy theorist. But I do believe I am the real researcher and scientist of the bat that led to COVID. And do I believe they stole my fetal eggs while I gave birth to my son, Tatum Rogers? Yes, I do. I do believe they stole my fetal eggs, and you can come and kidnap me if you want. But yes, I do believe they stole my fetal eggs. I was in the hospital giving birth, and this was my third baby, so I was pretty good at it, right? And no machines beeping, no commotion, nothing happened. Nurses come in, 2 of them. Oh, there's something going on. There's something going on. You got to get on all 4s. And I'm like, okay. And me and my child's father was just looking at each other like, and I do believe they had a machine. I could be thinking crazy. But I really do believe COVID has something to do with my fetal eggs from me being a chosen one and a Jew. I want to let you know that techies have been obsessed with me for years upon years upon years because of how pretty I am and the sex tape that I made and how much views it got. Okay, so they have been pretty obsessed with me. And they've been trying to shadow ban me and stuff. And I get fake fucking, they're just putting me down a rabbit hole, Google is. I don't want to go down a rabbit hole, bitch. But anyways, I have reason to believe that Google or its investors was betting on me and my children's separation. I am curious to know what the stock market had to do with my case and how it affected me and my children's livelihood. And I wanted to jump on the bandwagon. And way before COVID and all this, I bought some Dow stock because my grandpa worked at Dow. So I was like, ooh, let me buy Dow stock. And then Fidelity stole it. And I said, well, why don't I own stock anymore? On a recorded line, you're not a part of the family. Oh, okay, cool. I didn't want to be a part of the family. The fuck? Okay. Whatever. So I'm assuming that's the 12 families talking, you know. Either the Rothschilds or the Rockefellers or the fucking crackheads, the inbred weirdos. Yes, I was attacked by fucking inbreds, dude. Okay, this is... I said Bill Gates needs to release my herpes situation. After the jab happened, the virus came to my lip, and I was in an elementary school after the jab, and I was told to go home because they were scared to catch the virus. It's definitely a Jew kiss, and I'm wondering how they could catch the virus when I wasn't kissing anyone, especially adults. And I was kicked out of elementary school for a sore, and they were scared of me. Okay. So what I need, that's completely humiliating. Do you think I can go to work with a big cold sore on my lip, or a cold sore right here, or a big cold sore right here? Do you think I can? Didn't think so.